The trial of millionaire shipowner Mikis Lianos now enters its third and final day. On Wednesday, the jury heard how, after a champagne party on board the yacht Liana, Mr. Lianos took chemist assistant Linda Davis back to the Mid-Atlantic Hotel in Fulchester, where he is alleged to have had sexual intercourse with her against her will. Yesterday, the jury heard medical evidence which would as well support the case for the defence as that for the prosecution. Today, we are for the first time to hear what Mikis Lianos has to say about the events of that torrid night in Fulchester.
If you would tell his lordship and the jury how you came to meet Miss Linda Davis.
Oh, it's a story simple in the extreme, my friend. I make one little tour of Scotland, the Western Isles, you understand, in my yacht, Liana. You've heard of her, I dare say.
Yes, Mr. Lianos, we have heard of her.
As we say in Greek. Well, en route for Monte Carlo, the caterpillar starts to overheat.
The caterpillar?
The ship's engine, my friend.
Mr. Lianos, in this court it is customary to address his lordship in the formal manner.
Oh, you must forgive me, my friend. In my circle, we use the free and easy manner. No, as I was saying, en route for Monte Carlo, the caterpillar starts to overheat, so we put into Shingleborough for repairs. Panagiamu, your British workmanship. My next yacht I will have built in Japan.
Yes, well, be that as it may, Mr. Lianos, having put into Shingleborough for repair, what happened next?
It is Sunday afternoon, my friend. Ha! The mechanics will not work. Oh, Panagiamu, your unions, they are unbelievable.
Mr. Lianos, I want you to appreciate the gravity of your position. You are here to answer a very serious charge, not to address the court on the state of the British economy.
If I run my business the way your country run her economy, I shall be in 1 week bankrupt. The newspapers will do one great favor to Mr. Edward Heath if they report what I say in full. Huh?
No doubt, Mr. Lianos, your political remarks will be noted with interest in another quarter. For the moment, what the jury and I want to hear is your evidence.
Certainly, my friend. We have all that.
Now, having failed to get the engineers to start work, what did you do?
Oh, I decide I will take one little walk along the waterfront, so I say to my skipper and 1 or 2 others that they accompany me.
There on the quayside, this is not in dispute, you meet Miss Linda Davis and her 3 young friends.
Exactly.
What impression did you form of Miss Linda Davis?
Oh, she's quite pretty, but to me nothing extraordinary.
But when you spoke to her, as we all agree you did, how did she react?
She acted exactly like other women. When I say come, she comes.
Now, Mr. Lianos, you must forgive me, but you must also understand that it is for your own good as well as in the interest of justice that I pursue this matter in depth.
Oh, you carry on, my friend. You are doing very well. I wish to help you.
You should count yourself honoured, Mr. Lotterby, to receive such a tribute. Brush up on your maritime law, and the Fulchester Crown Court will lose you.
My lord, as this trial proceeds, I'm coming to believe that there is more than one fate worse than death.
A judgment with which I, for one, would readily concur. Pray continue.
Mr. Lianos, we are all in agreement, are we, up to this point in the narrative? You and certain members of your crew met 4 pretty girls on the quayside at Shingleborough.
Exactly.
You ask them back to your yacht for a drink.
Exactly.
You tell them, I'm sure my friend won't object, this is not in dispute, you tell them that your wife, your young and beautiful wife, is on board the yacht and that they have nothing to fear.
Exactly.
So you all go on board the yacht and enjoy a happy interlude, lightened by 1 or more bottles of champagne.
Just so.
A happy and innocent occasion.
Innocent, yes. Happy, oh no. My wife, you understand, she's pregnant, so this make her a little bit crazy. She come and she create one unbelievable fassaria.
A fassaria?
Yeah, she goes off alarming, don't she?
I take it your wife made some sort of scene.
Panagiamu. In my next life, I come back one homosexual.
Silence. So, how, Mr. Lianos, did you deal with this embarrassing situation?
In military fashion, I assess the situation and I retreat. I take the dolly boat to my hotel.
And did the dolly bird come willingly?
Oh, she not only come, she can't wait. She bite me in the back of the Mercedes.
She bit you? You mean she resisted you, attacked you?
Oh, no, Mr. Lotterby. She bite me in passion.
Oh, call me the vampire of Bucharest.
Silence. And having arrived at the Mid-Atlantic Hotel, what next transpired?
Oh, I have one suite, you understand, for this sort of purpose. And there I take the dolly board.
And order some champagne.
Just for a change.
And Miss Davis, how did she react when presented with these lotus-eating opportunities?
My lord.
Did the girl say yes?
Oh, she not only say yes, she practically raped me. She not only take off my clothes, I must make love to her 16 times before she let me go.
Now, what happened next, Mr. Lianos?
I go to sleep. I'm a very busy man. I am a man of affairs. I have much to occupy my mind.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Lianos. We are at cross purposes here. Did Miss Davis indicate to you anything which might mean that she was not satisfied with
satisfied? Is she crazy or something? The most beautiful women in the world are more than satisfied.
Forgive me once more. I'll try again. Did Miss Davis ask you for anything?
Oh, yes, she asked me for money, but then everybody asks me for money when they know who I am.
Yes. And what exactly did she say?
She say, give to me 100 pounds.
And what did you reply?
And I say, beautiful young lady, you are not one prostitute. You are very young, you are quite sexy, you will marry. Why spoil it now?
And what did she say to that?
She go practically bonkers. She cries, she screams. But I take no notice. You understand, I like women very much, but I do not like this carry on. So I go to sleep.
Mr. Lianos, you say that she cried and she screamed. Can you remember if she said anything?
Oh, I don't remember. She says something like, I have the law or I tell the law.
Now, what did you understand by that?
Oh, I don't understand nothing. She's one very stupid dolly board. I go to sleep.
And when you woke up?
She's gone away. I say, thank God for that. And I go back to my ship.
Now, after you went back to your ship, did you see Miss Davis again?
Until this week, not once.
Did Miss Davis communicate with you in any way?
Oh, yes, she wrote me one very silly letter.
Exhibit C, please. Is this the letter you received?
Oh, maybe it's not. I don't know. It's, so many women write me so very many silly letters. I don't know.
Mr. Lianos, this letter is an exhibit in the case. Miss Davis admits writing it. Are you now saying you do not know whether you received it or not?
Oh, it is so very little a thing. For you and me, this is kid stuff. I take no notice. I don't know.
Never mind. I was just wondering if you can't identify it, how it reached the court. That's all.
Mr. Lianos, Miss Davis has told us that she is pregnant. When did you find out about this?
Wednesday morning in this court.
Do you know whether it is your child she's carrying?
Oh, how should I know? I make so many babies with so many women. In 5 continents I make babies. And I make only boys.
But this particular child...
Oh, maybe is. I hope not. She sleep around. She's one very dirty girl.
Mr. Lianos, let us turn to another matter. You've seen the photographs, you've heard the evidence of Dr. Hussein. Have you the slightest idea how Miss Davis came by these injuries?
Oh, how can I? I am a man of passion. Maybe I bite her, maybe I smack her, I don't know. But she like it. She come back for more.
Just one final matter. Detective Inspector McGovern has told us that at 6 o'clock on the morning of the 14th of July, he and other officers visited the shipyard where the Luana had been berthed and found that your yacht had gone. Why did you set sail so suddenly?
But this I've told you. I do not like your reunions. I go to France for my repair.
Thank you, Mr. Lianos.
Mr. Lianos, now you say, and I'm reading from my notes, maybe I bite her, maybe I smack her. She like it, she come back for more. Well, if this is so, why in the world did she make a complaint? First to her parents and then to the police.
It's simple. She's greedy. Oh, she's a woman. So first of all, she think of love. But second, and most, she think of money.
Oh, Mr. Leonis, it's very easy to say that, but if you just think about it for a moment, you'll see it doesn't make sense.
Why not?
Well, if you would just listen a moment. Here we have a young and attractive young lady meeting one of the richest men in the world.
Exactly.
Now, everything seems to be perfect for both of them. Everything seems to be set fair for a long and romantic relationship. Now, tell me, Mr. Leonis, why in heaven's name does that girl go running at 5 o'clock in the morning, weeping and distraught, to the police station?
She's very stupid. She does not know what is good for her.
Oh, I doubt very much whether anyone who's seen and heard Miss Davis in court would agree with your opinion that she is stupid.
That we shall see.
We shall indeed. Mr. Leonis, I put it to you that somewhere along the line something went wrong. Something turned what had started out as a pleasant flirtation into a nightmare and sent this usually worldly and well-organized young woman weeping to the police.
If you believe her.
Well, it is not just a question of believing Miss Davis. We have the same account from Mr. and Mrs. Davis, from Dr. Hussein, and from Detective Inspector McGovern. Now, they can't all be making it up, Mr. Leonis.
She is one very good actress.
But, Mr. Leonis, why should she act? Why should she humiliate herself in this fashion? Why, at the first encounter, strangle the goose that is capable of laying so many golden eggs?
She's one very stupid dolly board.
Mr. Leonis, you're a man, are you not, who is used to getting his own way.
Of course.
His own way in everything.
Of course, it's natural.
When was the last time that you were refused something that you really wanted?
I don't know. This doesn't happen to me.
Well, here we have our answer. That on that night in Shingleborough, you met someone who turned you down. At least she did on your own terms. And then she saw you turn, in a moment, from a gay seducer to a violent, beastly, and vicious monster.
That is matter for jury to decide. As you, my friends, all say so very often.
Now, Mr. Leonis, I wish to turn to the medical evidence.
And what good will that do you?
Well, Mr. Leonis, I must concede that the evidence given by Mr. Albert Davis has rather pulled the rug from under my feet. And nevertheless, there are some points that are not consistent with parental chastisement. Now, if you would be so kind as to examine Exhibit A.
But of course. I would prefer to look Playboy magazine, but this is not so bad.
Let us examine these injuries one by one and decide which to attribute to Linda's father and which to yourself. Now, first, the split lip.
Oh, 50-50. Could be maybe too very much kissing, could be maybe a smack.
Right, that makes one to Mr. Davis, because any doubts in a criminal case must be resolved in the defendant's favor. So that is one to the father. Now, the black eye.
The father. I do not strike women, except in passion.
But, Mr. Leonis, it is not in dispute that you struck your own pregnant wife at the party on board the Liana.
Oh, I love my wife. She's hysterical. I strike her very gently so as to make her calm her down.
Mr. Leonis, you love your wife, and Mr. Davis loves his daughter. Now, he describes Linda as totally chaste, as pure as my own mother, and you regard her as one very dirty girl who sleeps around. Now, you tell me, Mr. Leonis. Just who are the jury to believe? Who is capable of giving her a black eye? The father who loves her or the lover who despises her? One all. One to the father, one to the lover. Now, the bites.
My friend, I take the bites.
One to Mr. Davis and two to your own good self. Now for the scratches.
The father. I am so very careful with my manicure.
Now, Mr. Leonis, the girl was fully clothed when the father chastised her. I'm afraid you must take responsibility for the scratches. So that is one to the father and three to you.
My friend, when I wish to play games, I go to Monte Carlo.
We are not playing games, Mr. Leonis. We are trying to arrive at the truth of a very important criminal matter. And now for the marks on the neck, which Dr. Hussein considered were consistent with manual strangulation.
Plainly, this is the father. He hold her so with one hand, so he smack her bottom with the other. I have plenty too much other better things to do with my hands.
Well, that point I will award to the father, as there must be some element of doubt there. So if my arithmetic is correct, that makes 2 to the father and 3 to Mr. Leonis. Although, of course, the jury are at liberty to interpret the facts in any way that they choose. Now, Mr. Leonis, let us get one final matter clear. You arrived at Shingleborough on the afternoon of the 13th of July, and you put in at the shipyard of Hill and Burton.
Exactly.
You estimated that repairs to the Liana to the Caterpillar engine of your yacht would take a few days.
Oh, the engine room require one new complete cooling system, new fans and so on. But this is matter for marine mechanics. You are a woman. You will not understand such matters, my friend.
Well, to cover all eventualities, you book a suite at the Mid-Atlantic Hotel.
Exactly. My staff arranged these matters.
Have you any idea what such a suite would cost?
How should I know? Other people arrange these matters for me.
Well, would you be surprised, Mr. Leonis, if I tell you that a suite at the Mid-Atlantic Hotel costs £100 per night?
£100. What is £100?
Well, to you, Mr. Leonis, possibly nothing. And furthermore, deductible from tax.
Tax? I am a man of international affairs. Why should I pay tax?
Let us look at it this way. You book an expensive suite at an expensive hotel on the assumption that you are to stay in the vicinity for a few days. You use that suite for a couple of hours at the most. And then, suite booked, arrangements made for the repair of your yacht, you fade away like the morning dew. Now, by the time the Detective Inspector McGovern arrives at 6 a.m. that morning, you and the Liana have vanished without trace. Let me ask you this. Was that the conduct of an innocent man? Or more the conduct of a man in mortal terror of being arrested by the police?
It's the conduct of one man who do exactly as he please.
Thank you, Mr. Leonis.
Unless your lordship has any questions?
There are times, Mr. Lotterby, when even I am not tempted to descend into the arena.
Thank you, Mr. Leonis. You may resume your seat as before. I call Mrs. Agape Leonis. Mrs. Agape Leonis?
I am.
And you were the wife of Mr. Mikis Leonis?
I am.
And the mother of a baby son?
My son is now 6 weeks old.
Mrs. Leonis, would you be so gracious as to tell his lordship and the jury in what esteem you hold your husband?
He's the best possible husband. He adores me. He adores our son. He adores his children of his previous marriages.
Now, Mrs. Leonis, I hate to trouble you with this wretched business, but do you know about your husband's involvement with Miss Linda Davis?
But of course I know. My husband told me about it.
Does it distress you?
Why should it distress me? The girl means nothing to my husband. How can it possibly affect my position or that of my child? I have perfect confidence in my husband.
Thank you, Mrs. Leonis. If I may say so, your evidence reveals the most extraordinary wisdom and maturity for one so young and lovely.
Thank you. May I go?
Oh, forgive me, Mrs. Leonis, but my learned friend may have one or two small points to make. If you would stay where you are just for a few minutes.
Of course.
Would you like a chair?
Thank you. I prefer to stand.
Mrs. Leonis, let me assure you that you have the sympathy of everyone in this court.
Sympathy? Why?
Well, your husband's sordid involvements can hardly have brought you any happiness.
Happiness? No. But then who can blame him? He's a man. I was pregnant at the time and probably a little irritable.
But surely you would expect a man to cherish his wife during pregnancy more than at any other time.
In my country, we expect men to be men at any time. We love them, we tolerate their weaknesses, we forgive them their shortcomings. In return, they cherish us in the way that you in the West may find difficult to comprehend.
But, Mrs. Leonis, your husband struck you in public. You surely cannot forgive that.
He was quite right to strike me. I was making a scene. I was hysterical.
Agape. Divine love. Mrs. Leonis, are you a woman or a saint? Do you really tolerate everything?
No, by no means. In fact, I find all this extremely difficult to tolerate. Old men in drag, young fellows in funny uniforms. And for what? To discuss one domestic issue. Such a little thing. To tell you the truth, I find it unbelievably bizarre.
Thank you, Mrs. Leonis.
Unless your lordship has any questions.
I cannot hope to cap that last gem of feminine perception.
Thank you, Mrs. Leonis. That concludes the case for the defense, my lord.
My lord, members of the jury, the crime of rape consists of the forcing of a woman to have sexual intercourse against her will. Now, it does not matter who that woman is. She has the right to say no, and the violation of that right constitutes the crime of rape. Now, on the 14th of July last, Miss Linda Davis says that while she was quite happy to indulge in some love play and drink Mr. Liana's champagne, she drew the line at sexual intercourse, and here she was within her rights. But Mr. Lianas is a man who is used to getting his own way. Indeed, he has told us how he cannot remember the last time he was refused something he wanted. I put it to you, members of the jury, that he lost his temper, and what he could not get by persuasion, he took by force. Now, if that is not the case, why did this normally secure young lady go running at 5 o'clock in the morning to the police? Members of the jury, under the circumstances, I ask you to return a verdict of guilty of rape.
Thank you, Miss Tate. Well, Mr. Lotterby, what have you got to say to us?
May it please your lordship, members of the jury, Linda Davis is just 20 years of age, and yet just look at her sexual record. On her own admission, she has had sexual relations with 25 to 30 males. And at the age of 15, she had an abortion. And this girl now expects us to believe that my client, her, 31st lover, did not take her willingly, as did all the others, but had to resort to rape. Can we possibly believe Miss Davis's story? Now, certainly she appeared to be hysterical when she arrived at the police station, but this girl is perfectly capable of an act of self-induced hysterics, just as she seems perfectly capable of a little blackmail. I need help now, and I should hate to have to say anything against you when your case comes up next month. Do you remember Miss Davis saying this? Me and my mates always live in hope that one day we'll bump into Aristotle Onassis. Well, she didn't quite manage that, but she did bump into Mikis Lianas, surely the next best thing. Members of the jury, Linda Davis has deceived her parents. Do not let her deceive you. I ask you to find Mr. Lianas not guilty.
Now, members of the jury, this is a very simple case, but a very important one, involving, as it does, serious allegations against a well-known person. But it is also a case that demonstrates exactly the necessity of trial by jury. For there is only one issue in this case: who is telling the truth? And that is for you to decide. Now, before I go on, I must say this, though you are at perfect liberty to ignore my personal feelings, but rarely in my years of experience in Her Majesty's courts have I come across two quite such unpleasant people as Miss Linda Davis and Mr. Mikis Lianas. The impertinence of one matched the arrogance of the other. They both appear to have no moral sense whatsoever. They both appear to dwell in an alien world of selfish debauchery, and we, bourgeoisie, they would no doubt call us, can only look in from the outside and thank God that we are as other men. Well, now, however that may be, I must remind you, members of the jury, that it is for the prosecution to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. And when you come to interpret those words, reasonable doubt, I want you to apply the standards that you would apply in your own business or in your own private life. Now, members of the jury, will you kindly retire to consider your verdict?
All stand. Do you find the defendant, Mikis Lianas, guilty or not guilty of the charge of rape?
Not guilty.
Mr. Lianas, you have been found not guilty and you are free to leave the court.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We have a very fair verdict.
Be upstanding in court.
Next week, you can join another jury in assessing the facts when our cameras return to watch a leading case in the Crown Court.